Hello, soulmates. Welcome to the Honest Fashion Academy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And in this video, I want to show us how to take body measurements, especially the blouse and the skirt. Then you can use it to do whatever you want to do. So, without wasting much of your time, we're going to look at how to take a blouse measurement, then a skirt measurement. Okay, so in taking body measurements, we want to understand that we have what is called horizontal measurements and vertical measurements. Okay, horizontal, that's the circumference, and then vertical, the length of the measurements you're working with. So first and first, I would like us to know that good measurements leads to good fits in whatever you're making. Good measurement leads to good fit. If you don't have a good and accurate measurement, trust me, no matter the kind of skill you have in your sewing, it will be difficult for you to make something so accurate that will fit the form or body you're working for. Okay, so while taking body measurements, this is just a miniature dress form, but let's assume it's a human being. We don't want to come so close to the person to make him or her so uncomfortable. That wouldn't be so nice. Okay, so let's see where we need to take the measurement. Now let's begin with the vertical measurement, which is the lengthwise. We want to place our measuring tape on the shoulder this way towards the fall of the neckline. We place our measuring tape and take it down to the bust point. Okay, whoever you're measuring, take it down to the bust point and make sure that the person is wearing something close to the body and something firm so that it will be easy for you to take a look at what you're doing, look at the person you're working with, and know where to do alterations while working on your pattern or while sewing. So here you have the bust points, okay? Now on a normal human being, you have what is called the under bust. Just below the full bust, you have the under bust that dips in. So you place your tape at the under bust wherever how many inches it gives you, you write it down. Then here we have the waistline, the tiniest part of the waist. We have the waistline for the blouse and the tiniest part of the waist. Now one thing that will help you to achieve this is to tie something around this area. Okay, tie something around this area so that you will know exactly where the point is going to be. You can follow the color at the back. Like when you look at your back, there's always a part that dips in. So you can just follow that line and you will get exactly the smallest part of your waist. The same line, but when coming this way, it might not give you the same measurement because of the bust in front. Okay, I hope that is the way taken. So here we have our bust point on the bust and our waistline. Then depending on where you want your blouse to stop, you can take your measuring tape there, but usually at the hip area. So while taking the measurement on a full human being, you can determine the widest part of the hip. Here we do not have the widest part of the hip, but then we have the hip area. Looking at this place, this is tiny. Then coming down, you have the fuller part here. So on a human being, locate the fuller part at the hip area. That's where you have your hip. If you want the blouse to extend below, you take it down. If you want it to hang up, wherever you want it to be, you measure around that area and let the measurement stop there. You can tie something there so that when taking the horizontal measurement, it will not be difficult for you to take. I hope that is taken. Then for the back, we want to take our length of waist or neck down to the deepest part of the back. Once you look at someone's back, you find there is a part that goes in. That is the deepest part of the back, from the base of the neckline to the deepest part of the back. Okay, you can also take it down if you want. All right, now let's go over to the horizontal aspect of the measurement. We want to take the back shoulder from one shoulder bone to another shoulder bone. We have the back shoulder. Okay, if you're using a dress form, the line is already marked. So this is where you take your back shoulder. Now, depending on the pattern you're working with, you want to take your across back. Depending on the pattern you're working, you want to take your across back. On a human being, it's just taken a little below towards the armhole. I don't know how that sounds, but just towards the base of the armhole, you have your across back. Then at the front, we also have the across chest, which is above the bust line towards your armhole. You have your across chest. Then here we have the bust span measurements. The bust span measurements, which is known as the nipple to nipple measurement. This is especially important if you're working for a blouse. Okay, cross bust span measurements. And then we want to take the bust circumference. Want to take our bust circumference, make sure it is firm but not tight. Always have your two fingers in between the measuring tape, and make sure that it's not falling down this way at the back. Let it hang up just almost at the same line in the front. Okay, I hope you're taking notes. Make it firm but not tight. Then measure your under bust rather. Your under bust. This is for a fitted blouse. If you're just making a basic bodice, there's no need for under bust. And then you have your waist circumference. Make sure it is very fitted. Anyway, depending on how fitted or how loose you want it to be. And then you take the circumference of your hip. Okay, and make sure you can have your two fingers in between so that it doesn't become too tight on the person. Our dress form does not have an arm. I would have used it to show you how to take the arm measurements. But for now, let's keep it at this till we meet again. But before I go, if you are concentrating on making a skirt, all you need is just your waist circumference, your hip circumference, right? Waist circumference, hip circumference. You can take your knee circumference depending on the type of skirt you're working with. If it's just a basic skirt, there's no need for the knee circumference. Then we want to take our waist to hip, waist to hip. Okay, from your waist to the widest part of your hip, and from your waist to wherever you want your skirt to stop. These are just the basic measurements we need for a blouse and a skirt. I hope this helps you in taking accurate measurements and where you need to take your measurements. Alright, so shall I meet you next time? I am Justice. Bye bye.